you prayed and asked for an opportunity to become a cloud engineer. And as soon as you prayed, God gave you, and the universe gave you the things that are going to forge you into the engineer. But you think it's going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. Something strange can happen the more serious you get about cloud. So in the beginning, learning feels good because every new thing makes you feel like you're moving. So you can learn what EC2 is, you can learn IAM, you can start understanding network. Then you get into solutions architect like all of you all do, right? You start learning architecture, security, databases, reliability, all of it. And somehow, instead of feeling more ready, you start to feel more pressure. I had somebody tell me that almost word for word this week. He said he was overwhelmed, apprehensive, and anxious to make the pivot. And I don't think automatically that means he needs to study harder. I think something else is happening. See, the more you learn, the more clearly you can see the job. And the more clearly you can see the job, the more clearly you can see everything you haven't actually had to do yet. Now, that can make you feel like you're getting further away, when really your knowledge may have just moved ahead of your experience. So why more learning can make you feel worse before it makes you feel better? Early on, like, you're taking in everything. You're studying everything that you want to study or everything somebody else tells you to study. And you're taking on like more responsibility, more moving parts. You're learning this and that and the other. And on top of that, you're trying to learn 100 different things at once. So if someone tells you while you're studying for a cert to learn this service or tool because they think you can get a job where they work, guess what you're going to do? You're going to learn it on top. Or what's going to happen is you're going to be overwhelmed because you're going to stop learning that to learn this. When in reality, this thing that they told you to learn is probably a couple of months down the road. And you're trying to force learn this thing without even taking into accountability that the foundations need to be built in order for you to learn this. So then you start telling yourself that you're not cut out for this, right? Like you don't see the ending of you landing a role because everything just became overwhelming and you just can't digest what you've been trying to push yourself to learn. And we haven't even thought about, well, we haven't taken the steps. We haven't built the framework. We haven't built the foundations for me to learn it. I try to force feed myself to learn something that I have no idea about, and I haven't figured out how it solves problems. So let me give you an example. Like, you know what RDS is. Maybe some of you know what multi-AZ is. You know what security groups are, right? But then somebody says the database can't be public anymore and the application still has to work. Now you have to do something with what you know. So that knowledge that you've been cramming tells you what exists, but it's the experience that teaches you what to do with it. And we're not there yet. And this is why your confidence can feel delayed, because we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to go through the journey. So for instance, you prayed and asked for an opportunity to become a cloud engineer. And as soon as you prayed, God gave you, and the universe gave you the things that are going to forge you into the engineer. But you think it's going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. And I'm here to tell you right now, a lot of us that go through this journey end up getting opportunities, meeting people, gaining knowledge in places and liking things in places and industries that we never thought we would like. Right. So for instance, you may start learning and you think you're going to be a technical cloud engineer that's going to get into a solutions architect role. And the whole time you may have a financial background and you ended up liking FinOps even more. But we don't give ourselves the opportunity to go through that journey. So you got to understand, like, confidence doesn't always come from you downloading and trying to digest all the information that's out there. It comes from you just figuring it out. Right? Making mistakes and allowing yourself to go through that process and recovering from it, and making a decision that you're going to do it scared anyway, and pairing and partnering and getting in communities and working with people to get that feedback so you can see the improvement that you want. Like, confidence doesn't come from anywhere, right? It has to have somewhere to come from. And we're not giving ourselves that opportunity. The journey is the journey. As soon as you ask for it, all scenarios, opportunities, people for what you see for good and what you see that's probably not good and not favorable come into play to fold and merge you and frame you into the engineer that you asked to be, in the opportunities that you said you needed, and the money that you said you wanted. Because if we're asking to become an engineer, we're going through that journey as well. If we're asking that we want a 6-figure salary, or if we are making 6 figures already, a high 6-figure salary, then we're dealing with those opportunities and synergies as well that is put in front of us to help us become good stewards of that type of money. So you may have 3 to 4 things that you're going through as far as the journey that's forging you into the complete package that you say that you wanted, that you spoke into the universe. And as soon as you spoke it and you go through these things, a lot of you peel back and say you don't want it because you thought it was going to happen a certain way. And the whole time you just have to go through the journey and continue to live and continue to do the reps and continue to start figuring it out and continue to make the mistakes and continue to make decisions that are hard. And I'm not talking about life decisions. I'm talking like technical decisions or decisions based on what you're learning. If someone asks you a question and you don't know it, make the decision to figure it out and find out, and make the decision to fail and get the feedback so you don't have to fail anymore. So I was talking to a gentleman maybe a couple months ago, and he gave me this, I guess, saying that, I'll never forget. All these people in the world that may be doing things that I want to do and making money I want to make, or building a career to where I want to build it. Why fail if I don't have to? Like, we're going to fail with little things, right? And what I mean by failing, like, you're going to fail with them as well. But it's all about the guidance and the accountability. Like, why fail and quit if I'm doing this on my own because I don't know what I don't know, and sometimes I don't know that I don't know. I always say that. Why fail if I don't have to? And that's the same question that you need to ask yourself. And the last thing I'll say is your background should shorten the distance, not disappear. So we always think we got to start over. We always think like we're super brand new, but we're already doing some things that are highly sought after in this industry. And you may be even working on cloud systems and not even know it. Like, even if you're a teacher, et cetera, like, you don't even think about that's Google Cloud or that's AWS Canvas, whatever, et cetera. You always think like, I don't know anything. And once you start learning and give yourself the opportunity to learn and go through the journey, you start to see that you have qualities that you can bring to the table that maybe someone that's already in that role may not even have. So those are the things that you got to understand. Like, it's so many industries out here, from financial, government, documentation, risk and compliance, construction industry, a lot, right? Accounting, regulated environments, all this experience that you have that you build up for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that's experience that you can carry over. And that experience is not lost. So once you start making decisions, you hit another problem, right? You could tell when something runs, you could tell when the command works because you've done it, but it is harder to tell whether the architecture was strong, whether you missed a security concern, or whether your troubleshooting process made sense. So that's where experienced eyes become valuable to you. Not because they do it for you, right? But they can see the bad assumptions, the weak reasoning, the missed risk, the better alternatives that you don't see. Because once again, you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know that you don't know. So this is what I would do for the next 30 days. You don't have to stop studying, but every week, give yourself and give your knowledge somewhere to go. Make a decision or tackle a problem or reach out to somebody for a review and repeat it for 30 days, because the goal is at the end of the 30 days, right? I want you to have more than notes. I want you to have experiences, connecting with people, experiences, making the decisions, the hard decisions. So if you get asked something in the interview, you can have a process you can think through. And that is a big reason why Level Up in Tech is built in the way that it is, right? We know information is everywhere, but what people eventually need is a place where the information turns into the experience, and experience gets challenged, and then someone further ahead helps them see what they cannot see yet. So if you're studying more and somehow feeling less ready, your knowledge may simply just be ahead of your experience. And now your job is to help that experience actually catch up. So if that's you, it's a link in the description of this video where you can message me, Level Up in Tech. It will be me that responds to you, and we can just talk about what that outcome looks like working with us. You can also join our community as well for our Cloud Engineer Practice Challenge. That's in the description of this video as well. But I hope this was super valuable in changing your mindset and getting you to look at things differently. And just know it's just a journey. You're going to fail, and it's okay. Move on to the next day and take another step. Let's level up.